Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Minnesota Twins discussion video, an actual Minnesota Twins discussion video, and this one is really going to be just my opinion on a couple things. I mean, obviously you've read the title, but I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but basically something along the lines of when Garver and Cruz come back up, who is going to be sent down in the place of those two. Obviously, I don't think you're going to keep either one of those guys off the roster, so somebody has got to, take the place of those players, and I'll just give you who I think it's going to be. So I want to know what you guys think about this topic as well, because recently, a lot of players have been stepping up, and right, it's not even we're winning because of one player. It's every player every night who steps up and does something differently. I mean, you don't become 32-16 by having, one player, Cruz or Garver, for example, win you all these games. And now that they've been on the bench, you can even see that more with all of these other guys stepping up. But it is true. I don't think you can keep two guys who have been as hot as they have been this year off of the roster. Obviously, you're paying them quite a bit as well. So who's it going to be? Now, I have a list of like 5 guys who could. I do think it'll be one pitcher and one position player, mainly right now. If you look at the depth chart for position players, we've got 2 catchers, besides Garver, Astudillo and Castro. Then you've got a couple of position players around the infield. You've got Andrianza, Arias, Crone, Gonzalez, Polanco, Sano, and Scope, right? And then the outfield, you got your 3 main guys, Buxton, Kepler, Rosario. I just don't see any of those guys. They've been doing well all season. Don't touch the outfielders. Now, the infielders, you've got a couple of different guys. So our bench players are basically Astudillo, even though he kind of takes over every other day, right, for catcher. But technically, he is like our bench guy, right? He's a bench guy. Astudillo, Andrianza, Arias, who has done really well in his couple of starts, but I would say technically he's still a bench player. I would say your main guys are Crone, Scope, Polanco, and then Gonzalez. I would put him there, or Sano. Either one of them. The other one would be the bench player. So you've got Astudillo, Andrianza, Arias. We'll just go with Scope, or just kidding, Sano for now since he was injured. That's it for your bench players. And what we did at the beginning of the season, especially early, when we didn't need, 5 starters, we had 5 position players on the bench. I'm getting notifications on my computer. But, so we had 5 guys. We've narrowed it down to 4. I don't think we'll go back to 5, which leads me to why we would have 1 position player and 1 pitcher come off of the depth chart right now. But those are the 4 bench players. Out of those guys, I cannot see you sending down Luis Arias. I cannot see it. He has been hitting the cover off the ball. He hit a home run last night, 3 hits the night before, and he's on a 4-game hitting streak. He's got, oh my gosh, you can't keep him off of the team. I mean, he got a double in his major league debut on his second at bat. Then he got 3 hits in that game. Then he got another hit. And then he hit a home run. Like, oh my goodness. He has to be on the field. Now, out of the other guys, the question would become, do we need 3 catchers? I say 3 catchers isn't bad, because Astudillo can play pretty much anywhere, kind of like Gonzalez, kind of like a bunch of these guys can. Arias and all Andrianza, all these guys can play other positions, but we just don't have room for that many infielders, right? So I think Astudillo's safe, mainly because you have your backup catcher and your regular catcher, which is Garver and Castro. Astudillo can play the DH. He can go to first. He can go to third. He can go to right field. I feel like with his bat, yes, he hasn't been that good this year. I mean, like, he's still good, but I think you keep him. That's my point, is I think you keep him. Andrianza, he's been doing well lately. I think you got to keep him too. I think he's just very versatile. I don't know how long I want to keep him. He's been doing great, like I said, but I really think we could get some trade value out of him, maybe for that starting pitcher a little bit later down the line if we need to trade somebody. He's kind of like an Escobar kind of player, right, who we traded away. Obviously, we were really bad when we traded him. Not really. It was last year. I mean, Obviously, last year we didn't have a great season, but he's very similar to Escobar. And I feel like if we were to trade somebody away, I think he would be the top of the list because we have so many other guys. But they're all on one-year contracts. That's a different video. So maybe we keep him, but I think he's safe. Arias, like I said, you can't keep him off. You can't get rid of him. The next would be either Gonzalez or Sano. We're not getting rid of Gonzalez. Sorry. I think it's Sano. I think out of the position players, Sano has got to be the guy to go. He strikes out too much. And I know you have to send somebody down, right? And it's probably going to be Arias because he's from AA, but he's been doing so good. I just don't see you keeping him off the team, on the field. Sano has struggled. He strikes out too much. That is a problem. And all they do is throw him curveballs, right? I mean, that's what they do. Like, you've seen it. I've seen it. Everybody's seen it. All he does is strike out on curveballs. And I love the guy. I wish he would be good. Just 2 home runs, though, for every 10 strikeouts. It's not bad. But unless you're going to hit 45 home runs, I don't want you striking out 200 times on my team. I think it's got to be Sano. I can't. He's got to get a little better. And I think it was a great, little adventure up for him. But send him back down. Let him go until the All-Star break even. Give him 2 more months. I don't know. I want to see him healthy, and I want to see him great for the playoffs when we need him. That's my point, because I'm sure somebody else is going to get hurt at some point. It just happens. Then we can bring him back up. But if I had to pick a guy, I would say send Miguel Sano back down. Let him mash some more balls in AAA for a while before we pull him back up. Now, that brings us to the pitchers. So, out of everybody on the pitching staff, I think there are 2 guys that really stand out as guys who would get sent down. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 pitchers on the team right now. Obviously, Pineda, Perez, Odorizzi, Gibson, and Barrios are all starters. I think I counted 6. That's 5. There's 5 guys who are starters. They're not touchable. You're not getting rid of them. It's going to be a bullpen guy, obviously. That's okay. Moving on. So, Austin Adams and Tyler Duffy are the 2 guys that just haven't pitched a lot as of late. Duffy's more than Adams, but I think Adams has only gotten 1 appearance since getting called up. I want to say 1 appearance. And to me, it just seems like he would be the guy we send down. Our pitching has been so good this season for the most part. I mean, the last couple of games, our pitchers have gotten, rocky, but they've gotten through the 5th inning. Barrios didn't, but you know what I'm saying. They get themselves good enough, or into a good enough situation where we can bring in a bullpen guy. He goes a couple innings, then we don't have to use the rest of our bullpen, or they just go 6 or 7 innings like they have been all season. So, out of the 2 guys who I think would go down, Austin Adams is my choice. Duffy, he does okay. I mean, I don't know what to think about Duffy, really. He hasn't been doing bad, but he just doesn't pitch a lot. He's not a Rogers. He's not a Blake Parker. He's not a Morin. Even though I think Morin could be another guy where maybe we give him a chance. I mean, he's been on the roster for a while now, but he's been pitching a lot lately. And last night, he kind of fell apart a little bit. He would be also on the list to just watch and maybe send him down. But for the most part, I think it's going to be Adams just because he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. Not that he's a bad pitcher or anything, but we use our guys, right? Does he fit the system? Maybe. Maybe he doesn't. But I could easily see Adams, Duffy, or Morin just because they're pitching Morin so much now. They just want to get it. They want to use him, and then they'll send him back. Maybe that's kind of dumb. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, but I think that's who they will swap, I guess is what you could call it, for Cruz and Garver. But I definitely want to know what you guys think. Maybe it is 2 position players, and because we're taking back 2 position players. Maybe you want 13 pitchers. Who do we get rid of? Is Astudillo or Andrianza on the chopping block, even though they've been up at the majors all year? Does Arias go back down? I would hate to see that. I really would hate to see that. But, I mean, he's been doing so well. So, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. 2 guys have got to go once these guys come back. So let me know who you guys think they will be. But yeah, once again, if you just skip through the video or want to recap, Adams and Sano are my 2 picks that I would send down if I was the manager. So that's all I got for you today in this little short video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you haven't already if you like the Twins or like what I'm doing here. So that's all I got for today. Come back tomorrow or maybe tonight, depending on what time the game ends, for the game review, and we'll see you then.